the Pravduh is that episode 54 is done.
That's the truth.
That is the truth.
Yes.
We went into some deep philosophical discussions at the end. Started talking about some technology in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That was a cool one. Elon Musk makes his memorable appearance once more. Pravduh. Cool. Yeah.
Merchandise.
Yep. The Pravduh of the merchandise can be found on shop.gotwayfire.com.
Okay.
If you want to support us, if you Pravduh really want to support us, hit up patreon.com/Socratic Gamers.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Pravduh is that we're about to start the show, so
Cool.
Pravduh.
Here we go.
Boom. And we are back with another episode of Socratic Gamers. This is episode 53.
What?
How do you say 53?
I don't know. In French?
Yeah.
I never did good in that class.
Isn't it like 5-3?
Cinq, trois?
No, 5, like 10, 5, 2?
I don't know, man.
Whatever. If you're listening to this and you're from Canada or from France, please don't hate on us. Or hate on me, because I don't remember grade.
I didn't do good in that class.
No, I did not do. Je ne comprends pas. Parce que... That's all I got. Yeah. Oh, no, I got the I don't know, because...
I don't know.
Yeah. Je... Stupide.
Okay.
Anyways, so this is a regular weekly podcast where
Yes.
we're not reviewing any movies, Netflix shows, or games. We are talking strictly about 5 things from the week that we thought were cool and deconstructing them. So first on the docket, Vish, what you got?
I get license plate.
Cool. License plate?
Yeah.
Random?
So they're doing something in California. They started this.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Digital license plate.
No.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
what
I wanted to
sick.
show you.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so how does it work?
So
Digital license plate?
It's a digital license plate.
I like how we don't tell each other what the topics are. So then when it actually comes about, it's like, oh, wow, that's actually pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
digital license plate. All right.
So it's like a big screen on the back of your car. Like, you put it in place where your license plate is.
But why would they do that?
Why would they do that?
Well, why digital?
Why digital?
Yeah,
Why
is there
not
like
digital?
Yeah,
There's a lot of ways to save money on this, too.
Oh, yeah, because
the
then you don't
city
have to
as well.
actually... Yeah, that makes sense, because
Right.
you don't have to, like...
But the thing is, it's a little expensive right now.
Okay.
So where you can save money is, you know how you got to get those stickers each year?
Yeah.
And put them on a license
sure.
plate? Yeah. You don't have to do that. You just register online, and it'll just show up.
Yeah,
on
that's
your
cool.
thing online.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Right, from online. Like, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And if they put some sort of, like, heat thing on it, because, you know, like, dirt gets on there, or, like, snow. Well, I guess California, so that won't really happen, but,
Yeah,
you know,
no.
like Canada, it's, like, dirt or snow.
Well, that'll be a different thing. They'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like a heat
But you can
thing.
still have that now, and it'll still be on it, right? Like here. Like,
Heat
the license
thing?
plate won't do anything different.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's kind of cool. So, like, they're saving a little bit of money.
Potentially, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So it's like, yeah.
And then they don't have to print, like, plastic ones.
Don't have to
right?
print anything, but I mean,
Yeah.
you do have to make the digital plates.
Right. Oh, they can't just... It can't just come, like, pre-installed in the car? Like...
Into the car?
Yeah.
Oh, right now they're not doing it like that. It's a separate thing you're
I
buying.
see, I
you buy it
see.
like an iPad,
Oh, okay, see, I thought
and
it
you
was,
screw
like,
that in and put it there. Well,
pre-put
they
in the
can do
car.
that, or whoever's doing the installation.
Huh. Well, that's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
It's pretty interesting. You can have like different logos, or
Ooh,
like you can have a little
interesting.
slightly like different color.
Uh-huh.
You can have ads per se, like
No
if it's like
way.
a car sales guy, right, or if it's at a dealership,
Yeah,
it'll just
yeah,
say
yeah.
like, or Mercedes, or it'll say something, right, or it'll have, if there's like an Amber Alert, it'll show an Amber
Right.
Alert
Oh, that's
at
so
the bottom
sick.
of that. Yeah.
Or could it be like the police tap into it and they're like, pull over, or like this is the suspect car. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah,
you
exactly.
know
This
what I mean?
car is stolen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah. You can. I think you can track your car too with that.
Oh, that's awesome. And then
Yeah.
it could be like, you know, like taxis. It's like how they press the yellow button, and then it's like, if this yellow button's flashing, call the police.
Yeah.
It could just be like, help, I'm being...
Right. Yeah. Things like that.
Yeah, it makes sense. They
potentially
put
could
like a
happen.
message.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
But the thing is, the price is pretty expensive.
Yeah. How much are you talking? 2.
So
3 million?
no, it's $6.99.
$6.99. That's not bad.
$699.
That's pretty expensive.
That's American.
Oh my god! All right.
And you're paying $7 a month.
Oh, that's lame. No, I can't do that. It should be built in the government.
Yeah. So I think I think they're doing. I think it's a pilot program, or they've already done the pilot program, but it's slowly getting spread out in
Right.
California.
Oh.
And testing this out so far. Yeah. And it seems kind of interesting. There's a video they put up. I think we'll post it up too.
Cool.
Like showing the different uses for it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a cool thing.
Nice.
Like nice. Like we've using license plate for a long time, but we have done nothing to improve upon it.
Right.
So.
Well, when does it come into effect?
Well, they're already doing it now, but only like a couple 100 to 300 people or so are using it.
Oh, only 300 people?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of small.
It's small, of course, but it's a big change, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You gotta start somewhere, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. We'll see what happens.
No, that's actually really cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. Very like innovative.
Oh yeah.
It's just like the Tesla cars, like everything's going like hyper digital.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's
Yeah.
all I have for that one. Yeah.
All right, so Apple copycats. I know we talked about how awesome Apple is and how their marketing scheme.
Yeah.
So we were at the movie theater, me and Vish, and then I was like, oh man, I didn't know that the new Apple Watch could last 4 days. And you're like, wait, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, like it said 4 days of like something, and then like
Life expectancy, like the battery life. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, like it must be the new Apple Watch that can last 4 days because mine can only last 1 day. So we're sitting in the theater, and then the commercial plays again. I'm like, yeah, check it out, there it is again. And you're like, yo, it's not Apple. It was the Fitbit. Remember? And it was like,
yeah. I
oh
remember.
man.
I looked at it, I'm like, that doesn't. It looks like an Apple, but that ad doesn't look like an Apple.
It looks
ad.
just like an Apple, and like what threw me off is like, I should have known
Because they
because
don't
they kept
do
saying
ads
like
like that,
fit.
too. Yeah.
The thing was like fit over and
Oh,
over.
you're
And I
right.
was
Right,
like,
you were saying fit.
oh,
Yes,
I
yes,
should
yes.
have thought it. I should have known it was Fitbit. But it's just a classic case of like
Oh, that's funny.
copycats. You know? Yeah, that's pretty whack
that's
though.
pretty-
It really had me in like how many people were also fooled by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just a testament to like how good Apple is at their marketing.
Yeah, and everyone tries to copy them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's all I got for that one. What's your next one?
So the next one, Peter probably talked about it too, but I want
Fitbit?
No.
Oh.
Elon Musk. Again,
Okay.
Elon Musk. We've been talking about Elon Musk so many times. So again, he's
So you
back.
haven't noticed Apple and Elon Musk's
are quite
Tesla's-
prevalent in our
yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
Is
so,
it the Illuminati T-shirt? I saw like on Instagram. He like
what? No, it's not about that.
he
It's
posted something and I was like, that's pretty trolly. He's like Illuminati.
Yeah, he does that a lot. Yeah. I don't think I saw that one you're talking about.
Oh.
But this one is about media.
Okay.
So there was like an article. They're like the media is disingenuous, right? They're there just to create things to
Create
have
drama
clicks,
and sell
and
ads,
they're
yeah.
not really telling real like a full on like a journalist piece, right?
Yeah,
like
makes
you know,
sense.
like so one of them was like what I could remember was so there's a Tesla person that got into an accident. She
Okay.
was in. They say she was probably in like those
Self-drive
the
cars.
self-driving one.
That makes sense.
But in that accident, all she had was like a broken ankle.
Oh. Okay.
And then what Elon posted on his Twitter was like, yeah, she got a broken ankle. But then there's every year, 30,000 people die in those gasoline cars.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
That not really gets mentioned, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you view that as, oh, okay, so that means Tesla's really bad.
Yeah, you have to get relative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not explaining the whole story, right? Like you can talk about that as a news article, of course, what happened with that lady, but then it's
You know what's funny?
it's misinformation
for
if
sure.
you compare it to something else.
It's so I read the book Blink, and basically it's about how we make snap decisions, and that's like a good example of it. It's like we use our stereotype bias to guess on certain things, and like the media uses that like fault in our like brain thing. Like, now
right.
people are like, oh, like Teslas are bad for you, but it's like, no, you didn't actually look into it. You just like
No.
you made the snap judgment
Yeah.
because of what was said.
Yeah.
You know, so
And then he tweeted out like, "This is why people don't trust the media anymore."
that's so true. Honestly, it's like you know, it's sort of like short form media. Like traditional media, which is like news and stuff. It's very like their information is short form.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, like you have to get a point across in a certain amount of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, let's say 20 minutes max. But if you listen to like a podcast or you listen to like or you watch a documentary, you get like hours and hours worth of like information. So it's like you get a bigger picture
Yeah.
as to what's going on, right? Instead of just being like, because if you watch the news, it's like, oh, this happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, good example, it's like, oh, somebody died in like Morningside, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, but we didn't tell you that it was a gang-related incident. We just said somebody died.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
but if they had more time, if it was like an hour-long piece, it'd be like, yeah, well, we found out this about him, this about him, this about him, and then he ended up dying. But you know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you would have had a bigger picture, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's. I don't want to say like we were controlled by the media back in the day before the internet, but like that's kind of how it seems. You know, that's why people don't trust like traditional media because
Mm-hmm.
they don't give you the full picture. They just give you what they want you to believe.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think at a time they were really good. Then I think it just, with the, you know, they're not,
When their morals were pure, yeah, and then they became like a giant conglomerate.
yeah, and then they had to compete with like people like YouTube and things like that, right?
For sure.
So basically he also like tweeted out like why that's like, yeah, he didn't like why people don't like it. Then another guy attacked him saying, you're just be like, he said like what, like he attacked him on what he was saying, and then he's like, and then you're acting like Trump. I'm like, just because someone is saying the media is fake, they're Trump, you know what I
True.
mean? Like comparing him like that, but that's not. This has been going on for a long time, and why do you
Right.
think Trump won? Because they don't trust you anymore,
For sure.
right?
Yeah.
So then, and then he's like, "What? We should create something like a source where we can see if the journalist is true or not."
Right. Okay.
Like kind of like Rotten Tomatoes with movies.
Oh, that's kind of
So
cool.
you see, like, oh,
Was he
this.
serious or is he trolling?
I think he was both serious and trolling at
Okay.
this, because I think he's true in that aspect though, right? How do you know if this person is true or not?
For
Like
sure,
how,
yeah.
like
What's their credibility
What's their
score?
credibility? That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. What's their credibility? So he's like, we should create a credibility thing, and then he made his own poll on Twitter, and they're like 80% is like, yeah, we should have something like this.
Interesting.
And then they attacked him on that.
Wow. Then the traditional media or
Yeah. And then and then he's like suggested like we should create like a website like Pravda.
What's
And
that?
Pravda is like a word, it means like truth,
Oh, in what language?
like a site. I think it's like Russian or something.
Oh,
Uh,
it's funny to use Russian.
it's just a word for truth. Been interesting if he does make. Anyway, so he like we should suggest we should make something like this, and
That'd be kinda
like,
cool.
Kind of like, yeah. And he tried to buy a Pravda. There's an actual website already called Pravda.
Oh,
And then it's run by Russian, of course.
Mm.
And then he's like, he couldn't do it. He couldn't buy it, or it's Ukrainian actually, not Russian.
Mm.
And then he's like, why don't we? We'll make it. He figured it out. We'll make it Pravda with the Pravda is like
DUH.
DUH. Yeah.
Duh, yeah.
Pravda. So, which is kind of funny.
That is pretty.
Like,
funny.
I wonder how far this will go, and if we do end up making something that would figure out if that journalist is credible or not.
That's true. That'd be pretty interesting.
I think we do need something like this.
Yeah, for sure.
At today's
He's
time.
a very innovative person. Like, I wouldn't hold it against him to create that. Just like the flamethrower.
Yeah.
Pravda. I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that was the thing with.
He totally is the Tony Stark of our time. Like, to do stuff like that, it's like, oh. It's
Exactly.
very Tony Stark.
I mean, calling out someone like Elon Musk who's doing so, like, a lot of good stuff,
Mhm.
and saying that just because of what he's saying, oh, he's like Trump, that makes no sense.
That's very odd.
It's just, yeah, just disingenuous. Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Huh.
what I've got.
Yeah, that's cool. I like Elon Musk. He's a good guy. Steve Jobs is also really cool. But
If you understand him. If you just
For
looking
sure.
at the
Oh, speaking of understanding, great segue into our topic, Nietzsche philosophy. So I didn't read any of his major works yet, but I read the breakdown. That's so funny. It's like you caveat it with that, and they're like, okay, well, I don't need to listen to you then. You know what I mean? But all right, so I read his. It's like a synopsis on Nietzsche, like all of his philosophies, and like the book wasn't that great. It ended up being like the author was projecting more than he was actually talking about Nietzsche.
right.
Because I was reading it and I was like, you just don't understand what he's saying, the author. But like I got what Nietzsche was saying. So his two major philosophies, from what the book has explained so far,
Yeah.
I'm going to read Beyond Good and Evil. Actually, no, there's like a
Is
few.
that a game?
Beyond Good and Evil?
Was that a game? I think it was
Beyond
a game.
is the game.
No, it's an old game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's so the three major philosophies that I took away from Nietzsche are good and evil. He said morality is based on utilitarianism.
Okay.
So things are only good if they are good for society as a whole.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you need to propagate something. So
Yeah.
there's no such thing as morality because it changes over time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right. So like I'm assuming that's what Beyond Good and Evil is about, where it's like he just explains how like it's all in your head.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm remembering a little bit because I did take this course.
Yeah,
I didn't think
philosophy
he was
was
there.
there.
Yeah, I just didn't remember much. But you're reminding me some things.
And then the next one is the Ubermensch, which is the
Oh, yeah.
Superman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think that, well, before I get into these, so basically the Superman is like the
The Uberman, right? Isn't it?
Ubermensch. Translated literally, it's Superman.
Okay.
So it's basically a person that's like very self-aware.
Uh huh.
Okay, and then the final one is nihilism.
Yeah.
Is what they attributed to him as, like he's
Oh,
like a big
nihil-
proponent. Nihilism, like
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So okay, so let's deconstruct, because I totally got where he's going with this. So remember how I said before, like, because I was going through that like phase when you realize that nothing matters. Like in 1,000 years, we're all gonna be dead,
Right.
right? All of our actions are gonna, like Achilles said it, like all of our actions are just gonna blow away like dust in the wind or whatever. You know, I think that's something like that in Troy, and like Nietzsche realized this,
Yeah.
right? But what's kind of funny is he stumbled upon nihilism when he asked the girl that he liked to marry him, and then she said no, and then it made him go into like a crazy spiral where he's like, oh, my life's ruined, blah blah blah, and then he became like a nihilist, like nothing matters, all life is like sad, right?
Oh. Okay.
Okay, and then according to the book,
Yeah.
because they talked a lot about his autobiography. So remember, I was going through that myself. I was like, oh, when you realize nothing matters, what's the point of living? Because like it doesn't matter what we do anyways. And then you're like, well, that's why I play video games,
Right.
right? And then like you just enjoy your experience, and that's where I came up with nihilism and acceptance are at the two ends of enlightenment, or two shades of enlightenment. How you take it is up to you.
Right.
Right? So what Nietzsche was saying is that when you realize that nothing matters, you're going to become nihilistic
Right.
because nothing matters. But he didn't break through, which is what the tantra talks about. Like if you're a tantric, you live the life that you want because you realize that you're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Or like even the samurai will do that. You know, you're going to die anyways. Live for your duty.
Right.
Right? So Nietzsche hit the nihilism, but he had no way to bring himself out of the nihilism.
Yeah.
He was touching upon it
Right.
in a correct way, but then the author was like, oh, he was crazy, blah blah blah, because he became a nihilist. And it's like, no, he just didn't. He was right though. Like
Yeah.
true enlightenment is realizing you're gonna die. You know, it's like that. Like, well, not true enlightenment. There's so many enlightenment. You get enlightenment all the time. Anything that enlightens you, like makes you realize something, is an enlightenment piece.
Right. Yeah.
So when you're like, oh, how enlightened are you? It's just how much do you know about the world, you know, and yourself. So in realizing that nothing matters, it's like you really can only take it two ways. Either you accept that nothing matters and you enjoy your experience, or you just become a sad, lonely person like Nietzsche apparently,
Right.
you know, because he became a full-on nihilist. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
All right, and then so then his next philosophy, the Ubermensch. So he's saying that basically the Ubermensch is the artist, right? Is an artist. If you are an artist, you become like a Superman. And then he's like, well, how can somebody be an artist You know, how can it just be an artist? And I'm like, no, he's meaning, I believe he's meaning that like, not literally, but more like figuratively, where it's like, because when you look at an artist, they see the beauty of the world.
Yeah.
So the Ubermensch just sees the beauty of the world.
Right.
Right? They've become the Superman. They've transcended the world because they understand the world from a different point of view.
Yeah.
They're not looking at it from their small problems. They're looking at it from like a bigger scale.
Yeah.
And I believe that's what the
That he's trying to get
meant.
to?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was my other one? Ubermensch, nihilism.
I don't remember. What was it?
Two Shades of Enlightenment. Oh, it's sad. I lost my train of thought there.
The 3 topics, right, that he had? The 3 main things?
The 3 main things that hit me. Ubermensch.
I think those are I remember, like, oh man, I don't remember it, but the 3 that you listed were the 3 that was in my books too. I remember.
Yeah, it's
like that was like the main. That's
the
main things. What was the other one?
No, Beyond Good and Evil.
Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So basically, what he was saying is like, but then Nietzsche. All right, so check this out. Nietzsche said, "Don't believe in me." No, he said, "Believe in me, but be skeptical."
Okay.
And the author's like, well, how can you be believing in him but also be skeptical? That makes no sense. It's paradoxical.
That makes total sense.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, the author just didn't understand it. I'm like, no, he's saying like you have to experience it to know. Like, yeah, he's saying it, but like you have to be skeptical, because if you question it, you're going to come to the point of realization that he's correct. You know, it's like the Buddha, because Nietzsche didn't want to be a god. Right? He just came up with this philosophy that he realized, you know?
Yeah.
Which is also interesting, because, like, now that I read more about, like, the Bible, because I'm, like, almost done the thing taking me so long, almost done the Old Testament, and, like, listening to these things, and, like yoga, Buddhism, and all that. They're just philosophers. Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, these are just people with, like, points of view.
Yeah.
You know, and then people like deified them. They made them into gods. And like Nietzsche realized that. And that's why Nietzsche was saying like, I believe he was saying like God is dead, but it's because you don't need the fairy tale God anymore.
Right.
You know, you realize that you are creating your own God, because Nietzsche realized that everything that you believe comes from your own mind. That's why it's beyond good and evil, because you're making the label up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah.
So but again, these are like yogic points of view.
Yeah, no, I remember those things. Yeah, I was like, I agree with him all the time when I remember in class. Like, yeah. No,
But like,
he's right.
so what Nietzsche said too is a really intelligent person, somebody who really thinks about life and like really studies it, will come to the same conclusions as him. And how many times have we been saying the exact same things? So I'm reading the Nietzsche thing. I'm like, oh, we talked about this before.
Yeah, that's what I kept telling you. Like,
and I'm like,
what we're talking about is not new. People have been talking about this for a long
time. Like literally this podcast. Like every time we say like, oh, like our question about would you kill one person or a town, and then like, oh, but what if the town's full of rapists?
Right.
That's a Nietzsche philosophy. Yeah. But he came up. I didn't read any Nietzsche before that.
I know.
But like he said, if you just contemplate life, you're going to come to the same conclusions.
Yeah.
But that's why he said, I'm correct, but be skeptical.
Right.
Because like even when he tells you something, you have to question it, because in questioning it, you'll come to your own conclusion, which is going to be the same conclusion as all of us.
Right.
You're just making it up in your head. But the yogis said that too. It's like your mind is, like how you perceive the world is just like a narrative, right?
Yeah.
But see, Nietzsche said it in a different way. Like we're all honestly like so I'm like almost done the Old Testament now, and like the whole beginning part was like stories, right? And I was like, this is kind of BS. Like I don't believe in any of it. Like it's just kind of boring. It's killing me right now. That's why it took so long. But then we hit this. Then you hit this thing. I think it's Proverbs and wisdom, and all it is just axioms. It's so good. I'm like, I highlighted that. I'm like, these are the only things you really need to read. Ignore the beginning, all the like story, the fairy tale stuff. You don't need any of that.
Right.
But when you read like Proverbs and wisdom, it's just like, do not trust the person who you have slighted, because they might come back and kill you in the end. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, but in reading it, it's like these are all common things, and and all of these religions. these like philosophies.
Mhm.
Well, they are all just philosophies. All these religions, all these belief systems. They're
Yeah.
just like trying to explain the world to you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you got to realize that you're creating the world in your mind.
Yeah.
You know, that's the ultimate realization that it's all in your head.
Mhm.
You know, there is no good and evil. Nietzsche's correct.
Yeah.
You know, like good example. Thou shalt. Oh, this is what he said. This is what he said. The morality of the Bible
Yeah.
takes away its own dogma. And what he meant by that is the 10 Commandments already said thou shalt not kill, and yet we kill in the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
So he said that
Yeah,
you're contradicting yourself.
Right.
Your morality is superseding your dogma.
Mhm.
It eliminates it because we're not supposed to kill,
Yeah.
and yet you're using the dogma to kill people.
Mhm.
But again,
Exactly.
a very common thing we all thought of. That's why he's like, no, these. If you're intelligent enough and you're willing to be
Yeah.
contemplate enough, you'll realize the same thing I realized.
Yeah, you'll come to the same conclusions.
Except for he didn't have like the yoga perspective or like the tantric perspective of like
Yeah,
coming out
that's-
of his nihilism. That's the only thing. That's where he stopped off.
No,
That's why
I know,
people
yeah.
are like he's a nihilist. A lot of people
Oh,
don't
right,
like
they-
Nietzsche.
oh.
You know, they're like, oh, he's too negative. He's too fatalistic.
Uh-huh.
But it's like, yeah, but he is fatalistic because the world is fatalistic.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, we're all gonna die. That's so negative. No, it's change, man.
Yeah, this
People
whole
can't accept
idea.
change. That's
Just-
all it is.
They can't accept truth.
Exactly. It's funny because I just posted this Young Yoda thing this morning.
Mm.
It's funny that you just said that. It's like when staring into the sun, you better wear glasses or you might go blind.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote, right? And then I said like, not everyone can, in the descriptive, not everyone can accept the truth, right? Because like, some people need glasses. It's like,
Yeah.
no, yeah, there is a God looking out for you, bro. Put on these glasses because the sun's too bright for you to actually look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, like, when you're ready to accept the truth, slowly take out the glasses.
Mhm.
But it's gonna hurt, you know.
Yeah.
Staring into the sun always hurts, you know.
Of course.
But like, if you really want to know, like, honestly, I believe Nietzsche is like, he's not dependent. I can't say he's on the right path. He just didn't finish it. He didn't come to the acceptance of like, oh, it's all a gift. His philosophy of the Ubermensch is, but he wasn't an Ubermensch.
Right.
You know, he believed that a person could attain a place of
Yeah.
what the yogis would call tantrics.
Mhm.
You know, where it's like you like realize the gift of life, which is kind of funny because it's like one could even say that. So like the tantric came out of the meditator. The yogi would initially meditate over and over
Right.
to like escape reality,
Mhm.
which is kind of nihilistic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when you pass beyond the escapism of meditation,
Yeah.
then they would say that you've become a realized being because you're
Mhm.
meditating in life. You don't need to seclude yourself away anymore. You view life as what it really is.
Mhm.
That's what tantrics believe.
Yeah.
The real tantrics, like
Okay.
like not like if so like like I forgot what the book's called. It's on the website. Yoga Spankadapita or something. I know that's like Spanakopita is like a food, but the sacred origins of the sacred text of the origins of Tantra.
Yeah.
And it's just like a collection of book like stories or
Mhm.
whatever, like not stories, like a collection of works that deconstructs, like that's where Tantra came from.
Right. Right.
And all it is had nothing to do with sexual energy. It was just talking about, people like take it so far, but if you just read it's like the Bhagavad Gita. People are like, oh, yoga's this. It's like, no, if you actually read the first time they talk about yoga just means meditation, right? It doesn't have anything to do with asana.
Mhm.
Like Krishna is just like, you wanna achieve yoga, sit here and stare at your nose,
Right.
you know? Just like the Tantra, it's like it had nothing to do with sexual energy. It was just like, just stop meditating and realize that life is in front of you.
Mhm.
Like they'd say like the realized being of the tantrics would laugh at meditators because you're like, you just don't get it yet. It's like nihilistic people. It's like, yeah, you just haven't accepted it yet.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is fatalistic, but that's why it's beautiful.
Right.
That's why I like the Tao, because the Tao is like, you gotta look at the negative and accept the positive. You know, it's like it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So
true.
go Nietzsche. Okay, Phyllis, that was a long diatribe. I don't know.
That's fine.
Yeah. So, philosophical question. Although we did talk about this before, is the universe made up of consciousness?
So yeah, we did talk about it a little bit. It's just now, what is the definition of consciousness?
All right, so I was listening to Michael Pollan on Joe Rogan.
Okay. Weren't sure his last name. That's
Pollan.
Okay.
Pollan. No, it's Poland, but I just don't know how to explain.
All right.
Like say it. So he was. This is the first time I ever like saw this, and I cut it up and I put it on my Instagram. He said that the whole world. All right, so consciousness. To be conscious of something, my definition of it, and if let's see if you agree, is just active awareness.
Mm-hmm.
If you're actively aware of something, you're conscious of it.
Right.
Hence consciousness.
Yeah.
You know. So
Okay.
we agree on that?
Yep.
Okay. So from there, so if we take consciousness as active awareness, how many things are aware and from what degree?
Mm-hmm.
So Michael Pollan said that we have 5 senses. So our reality, our awareness is directed by our 5 senses.
Yeah.
But a bee has senses that we don't have.
Yes.
Does that mean that it's not aware?
Mm-hmm.
Of course it's aware. It's able to go from plant to plant and interact with the world. A dog doesn't see color. Does that mean that they're not conscious like we're conscious? They're conscious, but like not to the same degree as us because they don't have the 5 senses we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of color, they do have 5 senses, but you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So in that way,
Like we also have different things that we don't see that
like,
other animals do see.
Exactly it.
Right.
And he was saying like even plants are conscious. Like when people are like, oh, plants aren't conscious, but a plant can tell when a bee's coming, and then it can like adapt in a way to make the bee stay longer so it'll get more pollen or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it's like, does that, just because our metric of what consciousness is from a human perspective is not the same as a plant or a dog or like a bee,
Right.
doesn't mean that they're not aware of their reality like we're aware of our reality.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what the yogis were trying to say when they're like the whole world is made up of consciousness. It is, because everything is aware of something. But when you take it from like that woo-woo mystical yogi perspective, it's like then you start to get like scientists being like, oh, that's total BS. Like you guys don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, you guys don't know how to explain it correctly.
Yeah. Right.
You know, even the people that are saying it, it's like, it's like when people say that stuff to me, I'm like, do you even know what consciousness means though? Like you got to take the first step in that whole thing. The whole universe is made up of consciousness.
Right.
You know, it's like, do you know what the universe is? Do you know what consciousness is?
Right.
You know, how can you say that those are, you know,
Mm-hmm.
those are connected if you don't even know what those 2 variables are?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you know that the universe is made up of atoms?
Right.
You know, some people don't even know that.
True. Very true.
Yeah. I think this is the Übermensch, going back to Nietzsche, is the one who will be able to like mix art and science, you know, to help them realize the truth of like, to become more aware of things in reality. You need to keep an open mind and learn from everything and take what is necessary. It's like what friggin' Bruce Lee said, take what is necessary, discard what is not.
Yeah.
I think that's how we should live our lives.
Yes. Very good point.
Yes. Speaking of which, though we do talk philosophical, we also love playing video games.
Yeah. I mean, you should also have fun.
Yeah.
Like,
but that was my segue into us playing GTA soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, any final thoughts?
No, I just don't take things so seriously. Why so serious?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. I'm gonna say, take things very seriously until you realize that you shouldn't take them seriously.
Yeah.
I'm so serious.
that's the thing, right? It's 2 aspects of life. So.
Yeah, that's true. You know what's funny? Well, just being in like seriousness.
Yeah.
When I'm in like the throes of learning something, I get very serious about it, and like some people can't take that. You know, it's like, why are you being so serious? But it's like, why are you not being serious?
Right. Yeah. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
It's like, dude, this is the time. Like, you can't always. That's why I had to counteract yours. You're like, why so serious? I'm like, I'm always serious. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
no, no.
I had to balance it because it's like
Of course,
there's
yeah.
a time and a place.
Yes. When I do mean that, yeah, it doesn't mean all the time.
No, of course,
You're not
yeah,
saying.
yeah. But like people look at things from the coin one-sided. Nobody looks at the coin
Right.
dual-sided.
Yeah.
You know? And that's where we have problems. It's like my point of view is correct. It's like no, both points of view. Best definition I ever heard about discipline is knowing what to do at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's a great definition of discipline
Right.
because sometimes you have to be silly, sometimes you have to be serious.
Yeah.
But you gotta know when.
True.
Yeah. So till next week.
Yes.
We got another weekly roundup. No movies, right? Oh no, you want to see Ocean's 8? No, such an ass me.
Man, these women's rights stuff.
It's gonna be an SJW movie.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe.
All right, so next week we're either gonna do a weekly roundup of a movie or do 5 more topics.
Yeah, we'll see.
Although we have that one cool topic about black markets,
Oh yes. Yeah.
so that'd be kind of cool.
Possible.
Yeah, stay tuned for our.
There's a lot of stuff happening next week too. It's the WWDC.
Oh, all right.
So, I might bring
we'll-
something from that.
Okay, so maybe we'll just do a weekly roundup. We won't do a movie review.
We'll see. We'll maybe do a quick one.
Yeah,
Like we did
okay,
that one
like
time.
we did. All right, so it'll be like one of our topics. That's cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're also going to check out Banksy, the Banksy exhibit, June 16th. So maybe we'll do our weekly roundup the Sunday so we can talk about the Banksy exhibit.
Sure.
That'd be kind of cool. All right, cool. So stay tuned for our GTA 5 live sessions
Yes.
coming in a bit.
Yes. A lot of cool stuff happening.
Yeah. All right, take it easy.
Peace.
Bye-bye.